Hello and welcome, Aquarius, to your August 2023 horoscope. My name is Jeff Smith. I am your professional astrologer here at Raise Your Vibration TV, and I'm going to be your tour guide through the month of August, showing you a lot of what's going on with this crazy month. This is off the hook kind of energy. We're going to show you a different little format that you're used to, and we are going to get to the bottom of all this retrograde action that's taking place in the month. By the end of the month, we're going to have 8 planets retrograde. Slow and steady wins the race, but we're going to go over each area of your chart to begin with to show you exactly where all these retrogrades are taking place and what you need to do in those areas of your life to better flow with these energies, okay? Because there's a lot of resistance here, and we need to gain some perspective on that. And then after that, I'm going to show you exactly where these full moons, yes, I said full moons. There's one at the beginning of August and one at the end. And there's a new moon smack dab in the middle of it, okay? And I'm going to show you which houses those are going to be lighting up in your life. And when that happens, this brings forward issues. Every house has a different, you could look at it as a different section of your life, okay? We'll get into it. And then I'm going to do a different format also, is I write out a calendar every month in preparation for doing astrology for all 12 signs. So I had I guess you could say divine intervention of take a picture of this and walk them through it, so they can see exactly how things are moving through the month. And I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool if I don't say so for myself, you know what I mean? But without further ado, let's go ahead and look for all the stuff that's going on in Aquarius. So what I want you to pay attention to first, Aquarius, is something that I've been talking about in the monthly readings, the weekend readings, the new moon readings. They've all said the same thing. Pluto is right here on your cusp of your solar 12th house, all right? But what it's doing, not only is that a big heavy hitter, Pluto is the planet of transformation, and it's teetering in and out of your sign for quite a while. It's going to be doing that back and forth, back and forth. It's going to be moving forward, going back, moving forward, going back, all right? So don't get frustrated with that energy. Surrender to it. But what it's doing is because it's in this location, in astrology, it's square these points. It's opposite these points. Then it's square down here. So if you look, these are all fixed signs. Aquarius, your sign. Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio are all affected by this. So you're going to find a lot of people that you resonate with and who you are, I guess, transforming with. You'll see that more in fixed signs, okay? Just so you know. So there could be conflicts, there could be things moving, the chess pieces moving on the board, that kind of thing. And Pluto's running the show on this. So Pluto is asking you to get perspective, okay? And it's with communication. It's with communicating healing feelings to yourself. This is about self-healing, all right? That's what these retrograde planets are making you look at. Do I effectively communicate how I feel, or do I hold back? And if I hold back, why do I do that? Is there an emotional wound? Chiron is the wounded healer. Is there something that stops me from speaking what I feel? Instead, I mask it with these grandiose things, you know what I mean? Then let's focus on Saturn and Neptune happening in your second house. This is about finances and self-worth. Those are the two major things that I focus on in the second house: finances and self-worth. As you can see, you got Saturn, the planet of lessons and teaching you. It's restriction. It's all in how you perceive it. Again, Pluto's asking you to get some perspective. You're stuck in your ideas. You got to change the way you think and the way you operate in life, or you're doomed. And that's the truth. We've got to get some perspective. But how it's affecting your second house is, you may have to be restrictive on your spending, You may have to, Neptune in Pisces is strong, but retrograde, it's a little weakened. So it can create illusions that aren't exactly there. You know what I mean? And Pisces is all about emotions and going too deep in your emotions. And maybe this review that you're doing with your finances and how you feel about yourself has gone too deep, and you need to come out of the waters. I mean, you are not a water faring person. You're an air faring person. So, it's how you think about yourself and building that up, and a lot of healing taking place in the process too, Aquarius. And then we have, last but not least, Venus retrograde in your seventh house of relationships, and it's in Leo. So there may be a restriction holding back as far as relationships, you know. Um, and it's Leo season. I mean, Leo is highlighted a lot in your chart. So you may know a Leo. You may have met a Leo. I mean, it's transformation all around, but you're holding back. Again, holding back, holding back. What is it? Is it my subconscious? These patterns don't work anymore. So I've got to change the way that I communicate and look in my life and my philosophies. You know what I mean? I got to balance this shit out, you know? I wouldn't say it's volatile for you. I say it's life changing. And that's the way you got to look at it. Is this going to break me or is this going to make me? I think this is the month that you decide to do that. All right. So that's a little bit about the retrogrades that are taking place. If you want to know more, I'll gladly do your chart for you. Just email me. You know what I mean? And give you some guidance there. All right, Aquarius. So let's shift our focus to where the full and new moons are happening. The first full moon, which is showing right here, is in your sign. So anytime that a full moon happens in your sign, it's all about you. That's always going to be in your first house. And it's all about you, how you project yourself to other people's. It's opposite the sun in Leo. That's my degree of my sun right there, 9 degrees. So it's a balance of light and dark. Aquarius and Leo are opposite signs. You know what I mean? But this looks like a great weekend. Well, it's not really a weekend. It happens on Wednesday. We're going to get to that, how everything happens on Wednesdays. But this is a good, feel-good time. You know what I mean? Lots of blue in there. I like to see a lot of blue. Communication's great. Relationships are great. Things are just moving. You know what I mean? A great time. So let's move on to oh, wait, I didn't get to the other ones. Duh. There's usually only one full moon, but this month we're getting two. So the second full moon, well, let's move on to the new moon. The new moon, which is an excellent time to start things, this is happening in your seventh house of relationships. 23 degrees, so it's going to be very close to Venus also, which is getting ready to come out of retrograde and move into Virgo. So, with that being said, August 16th looks really hot for Aquariuses. Around that time, I'm just saying. But this looks like new relationships starting. This looks like anything that has been held back all of a sudden pushes forward. So good for you, Aquarius. But it's a new relationship. And it's happening in Leo. It's romantic. It's fun. That's what it's all about, folks. You know what I mean? Again, Pluto is asking you, get some perspective. Get your house in order. Stop focusing on chaos and let the universe guide you. You know what I'm saying? But that new moon is an excellent time to start a new relationship, if I ever saw one. So then at the end of the month, we're going to have another full moon in your second house of finances. So this is when more money could come in. This is when you realize that, you know what, I gotta cut back a little bit, that kind of thing. So the second, the seventh, and the first houses are highlighted for you in August. Okay, Aquarius? So let's move on to the calendar. There it is. So this is, like I said, this is a visual representation of all the aspects and movements of the planets. I write one of these out weeks before so I can assimilate all this knowledge and all this info, because you're just looking at squiggly lines and symbols, but I'm reading a whole story of how the month's going. That's what astrologers do. So let's take a note first on two things. Number one, all the lunations happen on Wednesday. Last month in July, they all happened on Monday, which was great. It was great timing for me because I have a meditation class every Monday night. So that worked out great for July. And it'll still work out, but it's just going to be a couple days before. No problem. But look at all the lunations taking place on Wednesday. Everything. The energy shifts midweek in every single week of the month. Crazy. And 2 full moons sandwiched in between the new moon. You know what I mean? So let's go through the week. All right. Full moon, excellent time. Mars trine Jupiter. Excellent time for movement, action, having fun. Maybe a little extravagance. I know my weekend was really good. The end of July was fan-fucking-tastic. So then we move the moon into Pisces. The weekends for August, let me point that out. That's number 2. The weekends look the part where, oh man, everything hit off during the middle of the week, but the weekends you get to kind of decompress. So make every weekend count from here on in, Aquarius, okay? So what we've got going on here is the sun trine the moon trine sun, doesn't matter. Good harmonious aspect. And then on Sunday, the sun squared Jupiter. There's so much I want to do, but I got to do this. You know what I mean? It'll even out. Then we go I call this wonky Wednesdays all through August. Then the moon moves into Gemini, a fellow air sign. So Wednesday for you seems okay. However, Mars, the planet of action, is square, having some tension between your ruler, Uranus. So big world news coming out around that time. You heard it here first. Big news going on. And this is ramping up as the weeks progress. Thursday, beautiful. The luminaries are all smiling at each other for Thursday. The moon moves into Cancer. Now, the moon moves through the signs really fast. It moves every 2 days through a different sign. So it gives you a different feel on where your emotional outlet and everybody else is, their emotional makeup is going to be. So this Friday, the 11th, not this Friday, but on Friday, the 11th, the moon moves into Cancer. It's water energy, so that's an emotional sign. People get really crotchety when moon's in Cancer. I know I do. And then the moon makes a beautiful trine to Saturn, so there's no restrictions there. The 12th and the 13th look excellent weekends. If you want to have great weekends, the 12th and the 13th, the 14th look really good. And then the shit hits the fan after that. So just be aware. So have a good time on the 12th and the 13th. The sun makes a beautiful conjunction to Venus. That is happening in your 7th house. So great time. Something happens. Love messages, feelings exchanged on the 13th. Enjoy yourself. And if you're with somebody, enjoy them too. The moon moves into Leo, of course, opposite your energy, but you deal with it. And then everything goes to shit. On Tuesday, the sun squares your ruler, Uranus. Be careful about what you do. You might be a little on edge on that day, but don't worry because things smooth out on the new moon. The new moon happens in your 7th house. So you might have an argument with somebody or something like that, and then the next day it's just you kiss and make up. You know what I mean? And with Mars trine Uranus, did you see how on the 9th, the Wednesday before, Mars was square Uranus? That's tension. And now for the new moon, Mars is actually in harmony with Uranus. So don't sweat it. You know what I mean? Shrug this off and really make the weekend work for you at that time. All right? And then the new moon is an excellent time to get things done. Thursday may be a little frustrating with the moon opposite Saturn. But it evens out because then the moon makes a nice conjunction to Mars, gearing up for the weekend. The moon moves into Libra, another fellow air sign. So that's another great weekend for you. So 2 weekends in a row. Kudos. And then a new love popping up on the 16th. And if you're already working towards a relationship, this shit gains speed. And it's good. All right? So this weekend, the 19th and the 20th, is a good time for you. The moon's going to be in Libra until Monday. The moon makes a great sextile to Venus in your 7th house. So again, relationships are a huge focus this month for you. Are you going to allow them? Or are you going to block them? Are you going to surrender to them? Are you going to actually say, you know what? Fuck it. I need to love just as much as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And then I hope you had a good weekend for that, because then everything goes to shit again. More world news on the 22nd. This is when Mars is opposite Neptune. This is really just taking action to rip the veil off of things. Mercury, the planet of communication, is making a good trine to Pluto. So powerful communications, lifting the veil off of things. And then another wonky Wednesday. The sun moves into Virgo. So hello, it's Virgo season. All right. And then Mercury, the planet of communication, is going retrograde. That's planet 7 going retrograde. It's going to be retrograde from the 23rd to September 14th. So signing contracts, electronics, you gotta wait on that shit. Electronics can go wonky. I know I'm always gonna have shitty internet for 3 weeks when Mercury is retrograde. Pay attention to detail. Okay, when Mercury goes retrograde, it's time to go back to the drawing board. All right. So then the moon moves into Sagittarius the next day. The Mars makes a good trine to Pluto. Then the weekend looks okay, but it's going to be a little bit more. This is when things take off. Okay. Friday looks good, so if you're going to have dinner plans, Friday would be a good time. And then things take a serious note on the 26th. And then the energy really ramps up. More world news happening all week, the end of August. Mars moves into Libra, demanding justice. I want justice. Then the sun is opposite Saturn, because it's now in Virgo. And that's a frustration also. Sunday looks volatile. Sunday looks volatile on the world stage. Not so much interpersonally. It's all on how you ride the wave. Then the moon moves into your sign at the end of the month for the next 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. But we've got your ruler, Uranus, going retrograde. That's planet 8. And it's going to be retrograde till January 27th. So all these surprises, this is when the energy kind of slows down and you can kind of review how the last 3 months in your life have been. Then we move on to close out the month, the full moon that's happening in Pisces in your second house. This could be illuminating finances. This could also be you getting in touch with your inner feelings, getting ready to express those, because so much good is going around you, Aquarius. I know the energy is going to be wonky and it's going to be up and down and up and down. It's almost like a bipolar roller coaster. Bipolar roller coaster. I kind of like that. I'd like a band name like that. Bipolar roller coaster. Anyway, that's what the month is going to be like for you, Aquarius. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of opportunity in the folds of all of this. And this is what you've got to put your focus on. You know what I mean? And release this month as much as possible, because when Uranus goes retrograde on the 28th, that's when the momentum slows down. So it's time to build momentum this month for you. All right, Aquarius, good luck with those relationships. Allow love to flow into you. I keep saying that every Aquarius reading, but you got to fucking listen. All right, Aquarius, thank you so much. I will see you in September.